CM Punk is one of the most controversial figures in wrestling, especially in the WWE and most recently AEW. Being a superstar that's not afraid to drop a pipe bomb and speak your mind whenever you want to, even dissing your boss on live television will definitely result in enemies and even friends. There are a lot of superstars that absolutely hate CM Punk, and they even aired their opinion publicly, like Seth Rollins, Ryback that constantly has something to say about the best in the world on his TikTok page, and even the head of the table, Roman Reigns, that stated in an interview that he doesn't like CM Punk and that The Rock and even John Cena are way better than him in terms of in-ring skills and moving the needle in the WWE. I don't like the guy. I don't know many people that do. When it came down to it, CM Punk was not as good or as over as John Cena, wasn't as good or as over and moved the needle like The Rock. It just was what it was. I can go on and on in this list, but in this video, we won't be talking about the wrestlers that hate CM Punk. We will be talking about the 6 superstars that CM Punk himself hates. Number 1, we're starting with the head of content in WWE, and the one that's responsible for everything as Punk claims, Triple H. CM Punk and Triple H's feud is not something that is kept secret, whether off-screen or inside the ring. They both have publicly shown their hate for each other. The conflict between them blended real-life resentment with scripted rivalries, creating one of the most public feuds in pro wrestling history. Their disagreement stems from a complex blend of professional jealousy, personal dislike, and differing visions for the wrestling business, which became evident in various encounters over the years. Before joining the WWE, CM Punk, known for his unfiltered outspokenness, took shots at Triple H during his time in Ring of Honor, coining the term belt mark to describe Triple H's attachment to championship titles. The tension further escalated when Punk joined WWE and the comparisons between him and Triple H began, which reportedly didn't sit well with Triple H due to Punk's unconventional look for a wrestler at the time. Their first direct confrontation occurred during the 2006 Survivor Series, where the crowd's loud cheers for Punk during Triple H's promos hinted at a brewing rivalry. Over time, the animosity continued to brew, with Triple H mocking Punk's look during a promo in 2010, establishing a foundation of mutual dislike. The infamous Summer of Punk in 2011 saw Punk voicing his frustrations with WWE's management in a series of promos, most notably referring to Triple H as Vince McMahon's doofus son-in-law during his groundbreaking pipe bomb promo. This was a reflection of Punk's discontent with what he saw as Triple H's undue influence and perceived tendency to bury emerging talents for personal gain. A significant flashpoint in their rivalry came when Triple H replaced Kevin Nash to face Punk in a match. Punk was irritated when Triple H defeated him, seeing it as a roadblock to his soaring momentum at a time when he was rivaling the popularity of top stars like John Cena and eventually being buried. According to a former WWE writer, even Shawn Michaels allegedly mocked Punk during his early days in WWE, attempting to undermine his rising status. Even after Punk's exit from WWE, the animosity between him and Triple H remained a talking point among wrestling enthusiasts. However, Triple H is a businessman and always puts business first, so he claimed that if for the right reasons, Triple H would gladly have Punk back in the WWE. But he hinted that it is Punk who is not on board by saying the line, "I'll never say never, but the desire needs to be there on all sides to make things happen." I guess we'll just have to wait and see.
Again, I'll never say never, but the desire needs to be there on all sides to make things happen.
At number 2, we have Colt Cabana. Once best friends, CM Punk and Colt Cabana, whose real name is Scott Colton, shared a friendship that transcended the wrestling ring, and they even worked together as a team known as the Second City Saints. However, the nature of their friendship took a drastic turn post-2014, following CM Punk's departure from WWE. The friction began to surface when CM Punk aired his frustrations with the WWE on Colt Cabana's podcast, Art of Wrestling, in November 2014. One of the significant points he made was against WWE's medical practitioner, Dr. Christopher Amann, whom Punk accused of medical malpractice. This allegation stirred a hornet's nest, leading to a defamation lawsuit filed by Dr. Amann against both Punk and Cabana. Although the lawsuit by Dr. Amann was eventually dismissed, the financial aftermath drove a wedge between Punk and Cabana. Cabana claimed Punk had pledged to cover his legal expenses, but failed to uphold his promise. This led to Cabana suing Punk. The situation further deteriorated when Punk countersued Cabana, making it abundantly clear that their friendship was on thin ice. The legal turmoil between them was finally settled in 2019. The settlement saw neither party compensating the other, but the damage to their friendship was already done. The public got a glimpse of their feud when Punk labeled Cabana as greedy on Twitter in 2019, and Cabana attempted to sue Punk again. Moreover, during a press conference at All Out 2022, Punk aired his grievances toward Cabana, further showcasing the depth of their fallout.
I offered him money. He said it was not enough. He went ahead with the lawsuit and sued.
Number 3, Jeff Hardy. In the world of professional wrestling, the fine line between scripted feuds and real-life problems can often blur, and the feud between CM Punk and Jeff Hardy became personal quickly. CM Punk, an advocate of the straight-edge lifestyle, which means staying away from alcohol and drugs, found himself in a feud with Jeff Hardy, whose struggles with substance abuse were well publicized. Their WWE storyline mirrored these real-life contrasts, providing a basis for their in-ring rivalry. The feud ignited when CM Punk cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase on Jeff Hardy at Extreme Rules 2009, right after Hardy had won the World Heavyweight Championship. Championship. This victory marked Punk's transition into a full heel. Over the following weeks, Punk's straight-edge persona became more pronounced, transforming him into a compelling antagonist against Hardy. Punk's new heel character was well received and he didn't hold back, diving into Hardy's real-life substance issues during promos, which brought a sense of authenticity to their feud. The rivalry reached its peak at SummerSlam, where Punk reclaimed the World Heavyweight Championship from Hardy, culminating in a loser leaves WWE steel cage match on SmackDown, which marked the end of Hardy and his departure from WWE for nearly 8 years. However, the tension between Punk and Hardy transcended scripted programming. A video surfaced months later, showcasing an intoxicated Jeff Hardy hurling insults at Punk, critiquing his straight-edge lifestyle and accusing Punk of arrogance, both inside and outside the ring. This rivalry not only marked a significant phase in both wrestlers' careers, but also showcased how personal ideologies and life choices can fuel professional wrestling storylines, making them all the more engaging and authentic. Number 4. Ryback. CM Punk and Ryback were never shy to publicly showcase their hate for each other, whether for unprofessionalism or just pure hatred. Ryback even has multiple TikTok posts just talking trash about CM Punk. The man clearly has too much time on his hands. The hate between these two traces back to their encounters in the WWE ring during 2012 and 2013. One notable clash took place at Hell in Cell 2012, where Punk managed to retain the WWE Championship. However, it was the allegations and accusations off the ring that fueled the fire between them. Punk, during a later appearance on Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling podcast, post his WWE exit in 2014, accused Ryback of being an unsafe wrestler, alleging that Ryback's sloppiness in the ring had caused him injuries and took years off his career. He also voiced his suspicions about Ryback's use of steroids, which added a layer of personal accusations to their professional rivalry. Ryback, on his part, responded to these allegations through various platforms, including his podcast, Conversations with the Big Guy. He maintained an unapologetic stance, often mocking Punk and dismissing his accusations. According to Ryback, the friction began when Punk saw Ryback's rising popularity as a threat, particularly when merchandise sales numbers were revealed, showing Ryback's increasing appeal. This competitive atmosphere, Ryback believed, brought out the worst in everyone, making the environment hostile between the two. Their back and forth continued over the years, with Punk's hate for Ryback being reiterated in multiple interviews and podcasts, and Ryback responding in kind, often with a mocking tone. Ryback also mentioned that the competitive nature of the WWE environment, where top positions were fiercely guarded, contributed to the animosity between them. Both wrestlers, having experienced the highs and lows of WWE, exited the company within a span of 2 years. Yet the remnants of their feud lingered on. Despite the bitter past, Ryback showed a semblance of understanding towards Punk's position, acknowledging the pressure that came with maintaining a top spot in WWE. But he kept making TikTok posts about him. He clearly doesn't like him, and neither does Punk. However, the chances of reconciliation between these two superstars seem slim, with both having moved on to different chapters in their careers. Number 5. Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is a wrestling legend, and everyone agrees with that, whether they like him as a person or not. But for Punk, this doesn't seem like the case, who made his clear hate for Hogan evident on numerous occasions. In a 2011 interview, Punk stated his problems with Hogan after they met in a Raw show, and Hogan completely disregarding him and not even saying hi to him. During an appearance on Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, Hogan recalled, "I walked into the dressing room for the Raw 15th anniversary, and there was a guy there named CM Punk. I don't know who he is. I heard I had heat because I didn't say hi to him." Hogan continued, explaining his state of mind at the time. "I only remember flying from California with RVD for the show. My phone is going off because my home life is falling apart. I'm walking through the dressing room, and all I can think about is getting home to fix my home life." The feud wasn't confined to social media. It echoed within the wrestling ring when Punk impersonated Hogan, delivering Hogan's iconic moves mockingly during an AEW event. This mockery was a clear signal of Punk's unyielding disdain. Amplifying the narrative, Eric Bischoff also voiced his disapproval of Punk's antics, particularly his public mockery of Hogan. Bischoff's words showed that a lot of people in wrestling didn't like how Punk made fun of others in public, and they all thought it was rude. And finally, we have someone that claims to be awesome, but Punk doesn't agree to that statement apparently: The Miz. The saga began unraveling around WrestleMania 27 in 2011. At this point, The Miz found himself in the spotlight, headlining the grand event. On the flip side, CM Punk, despite his significant spot in the WWE within fans, was left in the shadows, a reality that brewed resentment in him. The Miz's ascent to WrestleMania stardom was seen by Punk as a personal slight, a spot he believed he was more deserving of due to his wrestling skills and popularity amongst fans. As the years rolled on, the disagreement simmered, coming to a head during a DVD release titled Best in the World, centered around CM Punk in 2013. Although The Miz praised Punk's wrestling skills during his guest appearance on the DVD, Punk reciprocated with disdain, voicing his disgust over The Miz headlining WrestleMania before him. The phrase, "someone like Mike headlining WrestleMania," was a clear jab at The Miz, whom Punk believed was less deserving of the honor. Further down the line, the animosity resurfaced when The Miz, during an appearance on WWE backstage, made a sarcastic remark about not changing the culture, a snide reference to Punk. Punk's reply on Twitter was scathing to say the least, directing harsh words at The Miz for his participation in WWE events in Saudi Arabia by saying, "Go suck a blood money in Saudi Arabia, you." Punk later deleted the tweet, but the damage was done. The Miz, on his part, seemed shocked by the hatred, expressing in various interviews his lack of understanding regarding Punk's hate towards him. He acknowledged the Twitter altercation, but appeared to remain clueless about the root cause of Punk's disdain, indicating a one-sided feud that continues to perplex him. Love him or hate him, CM Punk definitely made waves in the wrestling world. Don't forget to subscribe and watch the video right now on your screen. We both know you want to.